All right, thanks, Coach Kelly. We'll turn our attention to the men's lacrosse program. Starting his third year as head coach Bill Tierney. Bill guided the Pioneers to the Final Four, the first ever here at DU. A lot of excitement upcoming for this season. The Pioneers open the season this Sunday against Ohio State in Florida, part of the Moe's Southwest Grill Classic. And then the Pioneers also host the Face-Off Classic then in 2 weekends here, most notably against Michigan on Sunday afternoon. So here to talk about the program and the Pioneers, who return Alex Demopoulos, Mark Matthews, as well as Jamie Faust, Chase Carrero, Wes Berg, to name a few, is head coach Bill Tierney. Bill.
Thanks, Bach. Just to open, we're real excited about getting started with our season. We've had 2 great scrimmages, played the U.S. national team a few weeks ago down in Orlando and had a great showing there. And then 2 weeks ago went down to North Carolina for a scrimmage, which was really a physical, real tough battle for us that day. So I think we're ready to roll. Opening the season with a conference foe isn't the most ideal situation, but we couldn't pass on this invitation to participate in this Moe's Classic. Playing Ohio State on Sunday. So it's an exciting way to kick off our season. We're healthy. We're excited about that, which is a rarity, and we'll see what happens. Ohio State, we played them twice last year. They're much improved this year with the addition of 3 Canadian kids offensively, and it's going to be a tough go.
Bill, last year you jumped into everybody's attention with all the success you guys had last year. Does that put the pressure on this time around? You guys have got to do even better. I mean, you got Final Four, and that leaves basically one more game, right?
Well, hopefully 2 more, but it's yeah, you're right. One more game to win, but we're excited about that. I mean, I think we progressed a little quicker than maybe we had even proposed or thought, but we've got a great group of kids here. They bought into to all the things we were trying to sell them. We've recruited well. I have an amazing coaching staff, 3 young coaches in Matt Brown, Trevor Tierney, and Dylan Sheridan that just take on the bulk of the work, and then a group of guys that we kind of developed that mantra at the end of the year, too dumb to quit, and we just kept going. So I think we've hopefully learned our lessons from that. We had a rough go in the fall with Harvard being the target and having people, out on the hunt for us. When we scrimmaged North Carolina last week, the intensity for a scrimmage was rare. Playing the U.S. team was a great opportunity. So I think we know what we can be. We're very young defensively this year, so that's going to be a big change early in the season. But I think we're excited, and hopefully, as you said, we can win 2 more games and get this thing done.
Coach, I was going to ask you what areas of concern you might have in the back of your mind heading in, and you mentioned the defense. Can you talk about some of the principal people back there that are going to have to assume more responsibility?
Yeah, we have some amazing stories going on right now defensively. Jamie Faust goes from a freshman behind 6 seniors, and we told him just shut up and stop the ball. And now he's the old man of the group, or the most experienced of the group, and now he's running the show back there. It's a big difference for a goalie. But Kyle Hersher is a junior. Kyle's right now our lead guy. He's played a lot of lacrosse for us last year, so he's not like he's inexperienced, but he hasn't started much. Interestingly enough, he did start against Ohio State in our regular season game last year and really did a great job. Then we have a freshman, Carson Cannon, out of Minnesota. Was a football recruit by a lot of big schools, and Carson's come in, and he's a tall, lanky guy who's just picked up a lot quicker than we thought, and he's going to start for us. He's going to probably be the guy who covers the other team's best attackman. So a little bit of a challenge for a freshman. And then the big story for us is Drew Babb. Drew's an amazing story. Drew was the midfielder of the year in Colorado 2 years ago. He's a junior academically, but a freshman eligibility-wise, and he's beaten Hodgkin's disease. And it's a pretty compelling story. Now, we've moved him back from midfield to defense because we need him, and so he's doing a great job. Our short sticks are Henry Makita, who's a senior who played a little bit last year, and then we're still hunting for the other right now. And our polls are going to be 2 freshmen, Mike Reese and Nick Gorman. So it's a different group back there, but an exciting group. They're listening. We're going to be a different style. Last year we could throw out those 6 great athletes and say, well, don't get beaten. We'll hope that Jamie makes the save. Now we're a little bit more like my older days, a lot of sliding and help defense, and hopefully we can get it done.
Things are looking quite optimistic early on. You're healthy going into the first season, or first weekend of regular season action. What are your areas of concern right now?
Well, certainly, as Mitch asked, certainly the defense. We've had, maybe the guy who was our best player at the end of last year was Jeremy Noble. And he's been out. He just got cleared today, so he's ready to roll for this weekend, which we're thrilled about. But he's been out for 4 weeks. He hasn't played a minute of lacrosse in the preseason, so that's a concern. Clearly, it's really the concern is the doubt about what are other teams going to try to do to us. And we've been preparing for all sorts of different scenarios, whether they play zone defenses against us or invert on offense against us. So we're preparing kind of generally, especially for this opening game, because you don't know what they're going to do. Ohio State's played 2 games already and won 2, so they're 2-0. We have no game experience. That's a little bit of a concern. Playing in Florida, where it's either going to be rain or humidity, which we haven't been great in. But it's very exciting, and I think our guys are ready to overcome all those obstacles if we can.
Bill, Mark Matthews is bringing a lot of recognition to not only himself but to this DU lacrosse program. Could be a finalist for the Twarton Trophy as the Player of the Year. How do you keep a guy like him grounded and still hungry to come out and have that season that you're expecting and to lead this team offensively?
Well, one thing I learned about Mark Matthews a few years ago is he's definitely afraid of his mother. So whenever I think his head gets a little too big, I just call his mom and she takes care of it. So it's all good. Mark has progressed so much. He's gone from just under a 2.0 student to almost a 3.0 student since in the last 2.5 years. He's become a leader. He gets it. He works very hard. The other day, he turned down being in an easy shooting drill to come down at the other defensive end to help us defensively. Mark is he's a great story, and I don't think we have to worry about his ego. He's just a simple guy who plays lacrosse for the love of it, and he's really matured now, and he really wants this thing. And the best thing about Mark is really unselfish guy. If he gets assists, that's fine with him. If the other team takes him out and that opens up some other people, that's fine with him as well. So, in his own words, on the sideline of the Duke game last year when they were totally shutting him off during the game, and I apologized to him. I said, "I'm sorry, Mark. We're bringing you over here." He said, "Coach, I don't care as long as we win." And that tells you a lot about Mark Matthews.
Bill, from a more global standpoint, I know that you talked about how last year was last year. How have you been able to relay that message moving forward with the guys that last year was indeed a great year, but you still have some quote-unquote unfinished business and more team goals for this year? Can you just talk about that? Yeah,
we first of all, I think the Harvard scrimmage in the fall when we got beat like 19-9 or something did a lot of that for me, and it was a great message to them that they've got to be ready every day for our opponents. People aren't going to back down to us just because we made the Final Four. So I think we've kind of overcome that, but we'll see. You're right. Last year is gone, but we want to take the good things that happened last year, but we also have to remind them that we were awfully lucky last year. We had we had Fairfield play in the finals of the ECAC tournament, who had played out here the week before, played a tough Loyola game 2 days before that, and then had to play us. We had a amazing crowd here for the Villanova game. That hype, that was a tough game, and we were very fortunate to win that game. We were losing at halftime. And then, so there was a lot of good breaks last year that we've got to make sure that they aren't luck this time around, that they happen for a reason. And we feel good about the fact that the guys know that. They're a very focused group, and this weekend will be the first challenge for that.
Coach, we're undefeated in the ECAC in the last 2 seasons. Can you talk a little bit about who might be our biggest challenge this year heading into conference play? Yeah,
the ECAC is really a talented league. I really, we feel blessed that we were voted the top team in the conference preseason, but preseason doesn't mean a heck of a lot. I voted for Ohio State as the top team, and because I know of their improvement this year offensively. They got 3 senior defensemen, a goalie that's been around a lot, so we've got our hands full with them. Loyola's improved a lot. Fairfield just has all their players back, and now have added a few really talented freshmen. So I think those are the teams that are going to be in the front. You've always got the emotion of the Air Force game, new coach at Bellarmine, and Hobart coming off their suspension from last year. So, and they were the ones who scored the most on us last year. So it's going to be a challenge, a talented league. We play Fairfield away, we play Ohio State in Florida. So those are going to be 2 tough games on the road.
Coach, a question from Mile High Lacrosse via Twitter. With Pat Rogers and Wesley Berg strengthening your second middle line, will the offensive production be greater than last year?
Well, I've been talking to Coach Brown about offensive possession a little bit to try to protect this young defense, and that means that he'd like to have the ball for 10 seconds instead of 5. So, it's a little crazy when you talk offensive possession to Canadian guys that run up and down and play box lacrosse. So that's been a challenge for us, but it's a good challenge because now we have 2 full groups. This kid, Wesley Bird, people are going to be talking about him very quickly. He's just an amazing player. We're excited to have Jeremy back. Pat Rogers was maybe the best player on the field against the U.S. team, and he was out all of last year. Colin Scott's back healthy. Hayden Schute's back healthy. Harrison Archer's playing the best lacrosse he's ever played. So we feel good about our offense. If we've got to win by 4 this year, it might have to be 20-16 for a while. We'll see.
Coach, what does the University of Michigan bring to the ECA Lacrosse League? And also, what do they bring to Denver and playing in our Face-Off Classic?
Well, the University of Michigan for lacrosse itself, it's been 35 years since a BCS school has added men's lacrosse for all sorts of reasons. So just having Michigan show the others that we can do this thing, how to go about it financially. Clearly, Michigan's a great educational school, and they've been the best MCLA school in the country, the club league for years. So them coming in is great for lacrosse. The fact that they're in the ECAC, now you've got Ohio State and them. Maybe in a couple of years we look at Penn State moving over. We don't know what's going to happen. And then to have them in our Face-Off Classic, one of their first games as a Division I team, is exciting. There's a huge contingent of Michigan alums no matter where you go in the country. It's a first-class institution. Their coaches are amazing guys that have done the right job with fundraising, bringing this club program as far as they have. It might be a rough first year for them as they get acclimated and recruit more Division I type players, but I think they're going to be something that a lot of ADs are looking towards. Today, Boston University just announced they're going Division I lacrosse. Last week, Furman University announced they're going Division I men's lacrosse and women's lacrosse. So it's the growth is great. As Liza talked about earlier, with Colorado adding, we're hoping that that's followed in a few years by men's lacrosse. USC is about to announce. So it's really exciting what's going on in lacrosse, and I think Michigan's been kind of that front runner where all the others are now saying, wow, if they can do it, we want to be on board.
Coach, we have a couple of our local TV affiliates out today with a lot of attention for lacrosse. Can you just describe maybe to the fans of Denver all the good things that fans and young kids and youth lacrosse players can get when they come on out to a men's or women's lacrosse game, and especially with the new tailgating zone that's sponsored by Warrior this year, and a new field and a great atmosphere that you guys have built along with the women's program here at DU?
Well, certainly you mentioned our Warrior support. Warrior Lacrosse started by David Morrow, who played for me at Princeton, was the Division I Player of the Year back in 1993, and they've been so supportive of our program. We're now decked head to toe, hardware, software, everything. So that's exciting. But I think what fans found last year is that, the kids can come out and have a great time. Lacrosse is exciting. You can see 30 some odd goals a game. It's up and down. There's a lot of momentum being built during the game. There's hitting. There's strategy. There's a lot of good things happening. And then when I thought some of our games last year, even though we lost our Notre Dame game, we had a great crowd for that one. And that was, people came back after that one. And, as the old saying goes, if you win, they'll come. come, or if they have a great time, they're going to come back. In our market of athletics here in the city of Denver, we feel proud to be mentioned in the same sentences as the Broncos and the Nuggets and the Avalanche and all the and the pro lacrosse teams. The Outlaws and the Mammoth. So we feel blessed to be here. For me personally, when I made the move out here, this was kind of a dream of the future, and it's happened so quickly. So myself and my family feel blessed about that, and we're going to try to do our best to continue the growth of lacrosse here. Families, it's a cheap ticket, it's a fun ticket, it's a great day, and we hope to continue our success at Peter Barton Stadium, one of the best lacrosse stadiums in lacrosse in the country. Thank you.
Coach Tierney?